Hello guys, Chris Visualmaniacs. Excuse the bad lighting because it's quite late at night and for some reason the camera doesn't seem to like me. So this will be my fourth video in 2 days. I saw Shaun Blackford. I was going through my YouTube and saw that he'd done like a top 10 movie thing for WrestleManiac 1130's challenge, or other channel, Visualmaniacs. So I thought I would do mine. Now, I've watched his, and his will be totally different to mine, but that's personal taste, you know, that's the way it is, so I'm going to crack on. Honourable mentions will go to Iron Man, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, The Damned United, which is a film that I just can't get enough of, Skyfall, and one that a lot of people may not have seen is The Emperor's New Groove. I just really dig that film for some reason. Some of these films, you know, they're not all action, they're not all comedy, it's a mixture of things, but I'm going to talk about each one as we go. So, number 10 is the Muppet Movie. I was always a huge fan of the Muppets whenever I was growing up. Around my time, I know a lot of people may not have seen the Muppets. For goodness sake, Layla and WWE apparently didn't know who the Muppets were, even though she's British. I don't get that. But it's a great film. I remember a good friend of mine, Mikey Thompson, said it was on Netflix, and I totally forgot I had this, whether it was like on loan or something at that time. But just the way that all the characters come together and everything, I just really enjoyed. And as I say, some of these will bring me back to my childhood. So that's number 10. Number 9. By the way, there's no Pixar or anything, but this here makes up for it. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? The first time I'd seen Mary Poppins before, but the first time that I'd seen a film from beginning to end that had live action and animation, and it was superbly done. Obviously, you had Warner Brothers and Disney crossing over, the whole thing to do with they both had to have the same amount of screen time, the same amount of words and things like that. It's just ridiculous. I love the fact this is an American one, but I love like the little insert that comes with it because it's done like Eddie Valiant's notepad, so I just think that's fantastic the way it's done. Look, Jessica Rabbit. Well, I just really adore this film. I remember watching this whenever my mum was in hospital at the time, and obviously receiving Academy Awards, and things like that, so just love this film. If you're a big Christopher Lloyd fan, Bob Hoskins, rest in peace Bob, you know, that's something you should actually watch. So number 8 is Pulp Fiction, my favourite Quentin Tarantino movie. Again, another like 2-discer set, and then I got yonks ago. But just a really good movie. Another good YouTuber, Mr. Bigger in 1990, watched this for the first time and he loved it. But this is just one that I can go back to time and time again. Bar one part, which if you've seen this you know what I'm talking about. But just a great film from start to finish. The little stories of each character, the cast is just fantastic as well. Just a great movie. So number 7 is Ghostbusters. I cannot think of a better comedy movie in my opinion. I was going to put Blazing Saddles in it, which I just find hilarious. Airplane, Naked Gun, but this here is just, it's timeless. I do have a Blu-ray copy of it, but the YouTuber that I mentioned beforehand has actually borrowed it, and I have yet to get it back. But it's just an absolute gem of a film. Everyone's seen Ghostbusters. Everyone's seen Ghostbusters 2, but everyone always says Ghostbusters. Just an absolute joy of a film to watch. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. Just fantastic, all stellar cast, and I really hope that if they do Ghostbusters 3, all of them return. Right, so that's number 6. Number 6 is Die Hard. I was going to put Die Hard 1 and 3 at the same because I love both of them equally. I just think Samuel L. Jackson is fantastic in the third one, but equally this is where it all started. I'm always a big Die Hard fan, whereas my parents are big Lethal Weapon fans. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Lethal Weapons at all, but Die Hard is just fantastic. Just hearing the people who were meant to be John McClane, whether it be Richard Gere, whether it be Sylvester Stallone, obviously they made the right choice in John McClane, but please leave the Die Hard series alone. The last one was god awful and very much like Indiana Jones. you don't want to tarnish the reputation that you've got from the first 3 or maybe 4 films, but that is a truly awesome film. I just love that one. So number 5, Rocky Balboa, no? Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 for me. I enjoy Rocky 1 to a certain degree. Rocky 2 I really like, but 3 and 4 is where it's at. I remember watching that whenever I was a kid. Mr. T, obviously a huge A-Team fan, you've got sitting right in front of you here. So seeing him and seeing my favourite wrestler Hulk Hogan in the same film kind of blew my mind. Then seeing He-Man, Dolph Lundgren, in the 4th one was even better. Obviously Rocky Balboa kind of put to rest, the Rocky 5, like how crap it is and things like that. And then the new Creed film, which is coming out soon, which would be really interesting to see. But Rocky 3 and 4, the amount of stuff in this, like 3 hours of special features and a Blu-ray. I picked this up for 11 quid. So it was an absolute steal, and just one of my favourite films that you could just whittle away the hours, really. Now, this is number 4, is the Dark Knight trilogy. Basically it's in here because of The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. I'm not the huge Bane fan, but I enjoyed what they did with that film. Obviously The Dark Knight is where it's at. Heath Ledger, if unfortunately, like he was taken too young, but what a way for him to, what a way for him to go with that film being like one of the last films that he did. Obviously, there was another film with Johnny Depp that kind of they had to superimpose or something, I can't remember. But The Dark Knight is just fantastic. It's one of those ones that you can kind of watch and the time just goes like that there. It just goes ridiculously fast. But it's just a stupendous, stupendous film. The Dark Knight Rises again. It's even longer than the other 2, but it's totally worth it. But I just find, like the only thing about The Dark Knight is the shit done more with Two-Face. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, just a really, really good one. Number 3 is probably my favourite Arnie film, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I don't know what it is about this film, but I've always taken a shine to this. Since the very get-go, I actually have an American tin box that I got of Terminator 2, and it's just one of my favourite films. Just the opening sequence, with the whole bike and the van going after him, Arnie coming down, like looking badass on the bike with the shotgun, etc. Just absolutely terrific. Just a great story. Some really, not often you'll hear this, some really good acting by Arnie. Linda Hamilton was superb in it. Robert Patrick as well was very, very good as the main protagonist to Arnie's Terminator. But just an outstanding film. Number 2 is quite a recent one. Is the Avengers Assemble. Huge Hulk fan, huge Iron Man fan. Thor, yeah. Captain America, not so much. Scarlett Johansson, everyone's a fan of her for the reasons that she displays on screen. But this is just an absolute outstanding film that I could take anyone to watch. If this was still in the cinema, I would probably go and see it again. It's just an absolute joy to watch. The writing by Joss Whedon, who obviously did Buffy and Angel, and then corresponded over this. Like the interaction between the characters, take away your suit, what are you, billionaire, philanthropist, whatever. But it's just an absolute great film to watch. The way they all merge together. I love the scene at the end whenever Captain America says the Hulk is like Hulk, smash. It's just an absolute, I'm not a huge comic book reader, but it's near enough every comic book nerd's wet dream is kind of here. Didn't know I was holding that, but yeah. So by process of elimination, number 1 is Action Jackson, starring Carl Weathers. No, it's not actually. It's the Star Wars trilogy. I remember going to see Return of the Jedi in 1983 in the cinema with my dad. Return of the Jedi is actually my favourite Star Wars, followed closely by Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. That's why Return of the Jedi is, like some of the other films, it's to do with my childhood, it's to do with me growing up, recapturing my youth, and that's why I enjoy watching those films. And this here, fair enough, the prequels aren't as great as the original 3, but that's because I grew up watching the original 3. But episode 1, can take or leave. Episode 2 is good. Episode 3 is where it's at. You know, like having Obi-Wan take Anakin's lightsaber, and then in episode 4 saying your father wanted to have you, your father wanted you to have this whenever you were old enough, but your parent wouldn't allow it, or something like that. So he got Anakin burning, saying, I hate you too, take that lightsaber. If I have children, please give that to my son, because I know he appreciate that. But episode 4, you know, just Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, you know, C-3PO, R2-D2, I know their names, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, but, you know, Darth Vader, you know, like you have so many icons in this. Empire Strikes Back, Lando, Boba Fett, episodes, you know, like the Emperor, then episode 6, Jabba the Hutt, Salacious Crumb, etc. And not so much this, but, hold on 2 seconds. But this one, with the bonus material, which is like a 3-hour documentary to do with the original Star Wars, which is the reason why I haven't got rid of this one. But yeah, so Star Wars 9-disc set, just an absolute. It's just one of those ones that I'm really excited to watch. Episode 7. So check out Razor Wire Reviews. He goes like a road to episode 7, and basically every time there's a bit of news, he'll talk about it, and it's just a really, really interesting watch. So make sure you go and subscribe to him as well. So that's going to do it for me. So Visual Maniacs, like to entered into your competition to win the $50. So yeah, Star Wars Complete Saga #1. There seems to be a lot of top 10s, top 5s, top 15s, top 20s floating around, but I was just bored and thought I would do a video, do my top 10. People who know me would know that #1 is not great shock, but they may be surprised at some of them. But interested to see what movies you like, what movies you would want to see. So make sure that you tag it to tag it to them, and let them know that you want to be entered into it. So that is going to do it for me. So until the next video, which will probably be like in the next couple of days, really not going to use it. But thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.